Morning. Oh, good morning. I'm calling to order the Connecticut State Advisory Council for Special Education Executive Committee meeting on Wednesday, April 16th at 9:01 a.m. I'm Susan Yankee. I'm the chair as well as a parent member. Public comment. Is there anybody for public comment? We would see them, right?
Does Catherine want to speak at public comment?
Public comment, yeah.
Herself?
Hi, everyone. I'll just take a minute to introduce myself. I'm Catherine Matz. I am the new Special Education Bureau Chief at the State Department of Ed. And I just started on Friday the 4th, so I'm still getting to know everyone, although there are a couple familiar faces in the room. And Nachi, you might not remember that you and I have met a couple of times when you've worked with Concase, and also when I was up at Touchstone. I think we communicated about a couple of students.
Yes, we did. Thank you. It's so nice. Welcome. It's so nice to read and see that you're here with us, and the Bureau could really, it's great to have you at the Bureau.
Yeah,
Thank
welcome. So nice to meet you. Hopefully we'll meet you in person soon.
That'd be great.
Our next meeting, right? I guess. I don't know.
I don't know if I'm invited to all of them yet. Brian and I have sort of been going through his calendar 1 week at a time to make sure I'm attached to everything.
Okay,
Take a
wonderful.
look.
Okay, thank you so much. All right, maybe this summer then when we do our retreat. Okay, so that's our only public comment. We're going to move on to consent agenda. We need to approve is it Friday, March 21st, 2025 meeting minutes? I have any corrections, but I do have one. Sean was there. It says he's absent. Is that correct? Sean was there. I checked the video.
Yeah, I was there.
He was there, and it says he's absent. And then for me, it's the second page, but under committee matters, Holly, it says executive matters. And when you go down to the second bullet point, it says update on TOE Institute Unified Sports. Could you just put and Unified Sports? It just reads as if TOE Institute is Unified Sports. It's just a teeny little thing. Do you see where I am?
Yes, I'm muted, but I'm following along.
Okay, wonderful. Great. Does anybody else have any corrections?
No.
No.
Wonderful. Would someone like to make a motion to accept the minutes as corrected?
I'll make a motion.
Good, second? Great. Anyone abstaining who was not at the meeting? Nope, wonderful. And please all approve. Okay, the minutes for Friday, March 21st, 2025 are approved with corrections. Okay, next, committee matters, executive matters. Okay, full SAC agenda planning. So I guess what we need to do is Sean, you and Holly worked on the document that really for our priorities and recommendations. Beautiful. Will we be, because that's what I assume we'll be working at this meeting because it's a long meeting. Okay.
Yes, we worked on the document and we sent it off to Brian. Brian is reviewing it. And so, yeah, we did work on the document.
That's wonderful. Thank you so much. So we'll work on that. We'll do roundtable because we should have time. Is there anything CSDE would like to present?
I'm sure Brian will have a bureau update that day.
Okay.
I'm not
So
sure of it, but he will have some bureau update, I'm sure.
Do you want us to just do a general CSDE bureau update on there? Okay, great. And then, so Lori reached out and really would like us to discuss outplaced students having a central place to receive resource information and event information, and put that as discuss it as a possible priority and recommendation. So I'm going to write that note down, but if I forget, hopefully Lori will be there to remind me. But she felt strongly enough to reach out to me. Okay, we at this meeting we'll have to announce. I'm hoping we'll announce our retreat date, but I don't know if we'll have that set. But I can discuss at least that we will be having a retreat in July.
It would be good to have a date to say.
It would be wonderful.
Yeah.
I think it'd be so much easier to just keep trying to go back to the old place that we were at last time. Oh,
That was
Old Saybrook.
Yeah.
Yes, so much easier.
Yeah.
Sean? So can
I'm
we,
hearing people like the Saybrook Inn.
yeah. Well, and they've hosted us now twice. So we know that they have the audio visual, we know that it's easy to do the lunch. So does anyone remember what time we did it last year? Wasn't it so people could drive? We did it at 10 a.m.
I feel
I
like
want to say it was like,
10 to 2 or
Yes.
10
yeah,
to 1,
that's what I
somewhere
was
around
gonna
there.
say,
Okay.
10 to 2.
Would anybody like to look at their calendar and look at the Wednesdays in July? So we know July 2nd is a no because of holidays. And possibly the 9th is a no because of holidays, right?
July
People-
9th?
Yeah, the 9th. People sometimes take the week before, the week after 4th of July.
Okay.
But we could try the 9th. There's the 16th.
I'm taking a very long summer break. I
Ooh,
will
okay.
be away July, and so please don't feel like you have to accommodate me. I'm gonna be away July 14th, returning on August 6th.
Okay, shall we look at July 9th then?
Yes, the
But
ninth
don't
sounds
feel
good.
like you have to accommodate me. If the week of the 14th works best for everyone else, I just want you to know, like, I was planning my summer back in February, so.
Right. So, well, what usually last time what happened is I reached out to old Saybrook Point Inn. Is that it? I don't remember. I should know because I've done a lot of events there. And I asked them if they have that available and they have a room to accommodate. What do we usually have? Like 15?
Yeah.
It is usually around 15 to 20 people.
Yeah.
Okay, 15 to 20 people and for lunch, and we need the audio, visual, and the streaming capability. And then I reach out, I can contact, because Jolie does the fiscal, she does the money and the contracting, and she's gonna be out for a little bit, right? Starting on the 26th. So if I can, I'll call today and see if they're available, and then Holly, you and Christine can work with Jolie on setting up the food and getting the contract signed. Does that sound good? I guess we should have a backup date in our pocket in case they say, no, we're booked. I highly doubt they're booked on a Wednesday in July already, but you never know. So we need a conference room. So could anyone tell me another date other than Catherine that it works out if they don't? Because the 16th, it seems fine.
I'm good on all the Wednesdays except
Yeah,
the
I
2nd.
just can't do the 23rd is the only day I can't.
Okay, so our other option is, let's just say the 16th. And I'm gonna reach out to them today to their event. And then my job is to then connect them, if it's a yes, with Holly, Christine, okay, and Jolie. Because I think Jolie has to sign the contract, correct?
And please let me know too, Susan,
Oh,
what you
Sean.
need. Happy to help out with any of that, as far as facilitating between, especially with Jolie going out.
Yeah.
So I'm happy to help with any of that.
Yeah, I'm so sorry, Sean. I forgot. Okay, that's great. Okay, so that's wonderful that we have that. So is there anything else? Oh, and I'm gonna present on, just gonna give them an update, in my executive committee. My executive update. Maybe, no, let's wait, we can, do you think I should just do a quick update about what's going on with the bylaw committee? I should do that in committees, right? Okay, I'll update the bylaw committee that we're doing right now. Of what's going on. Can anyone think of anything else that, oh, we need to welcome our student. We have our new student, Catherine. Do you know if you, yeah, if he's coming?
I hope he is. You know what? Let me send an email reminder. Send email reminder.
And you'll do that in membership, or do you want to just do that right at the beginning?
Doesn't matter to me. I mean, I can do it at the beginning, or when we do membership. What, do you have a preference, Susan?
I would say in the beginning, because he might be
Yeah.
wondering why we haven't spoken. So we'll do that under the executive
Okay,
update with you.
sounds good.
Okay, I'm trying to write this all down, Holly, so then I can send you an email with something that looks right. Anyone else think of anything else that we should be going through? I know we have to set our dates we have one more meeting left in May, and we need to set the dates for the following
Mhm.
year. And I think that May 7th, we should be inviting our new chair and vice chair, because the dates are going to be the most important to them, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Also, so then, do you guys want to discuss that we will definitely have membership at this agenda, because and membership and nominating will be on here?
Yeah, and I have some additional membership updates I can add when we get to that.
Okay,
piece.
and then we'll definitely have legislative, and then we'll do the ad hoc bylaw. And I think that's it. Anyone think of anything else pressing? Okay, wonderful.
Just to
Okay.
be clear, you said it twice, and I just want to make sure I'm writing it down correctly. You wanted to do a bylaw committee update in the executive or in ad hoc?
Ad hoc,
Okay.
please. Thank you so much. And I'll type this all up real quick for you. And so just so we can see if our brains match, and I'll send it to you. Okay, wonderful. So then the next thing we have is the July retreat planning. We haven't done Freedom of Information Act, like quick blurb. We haven't done that in the last year. Do you think that that is a priority?
I think it's probably a good thing to do. I know we have to do it annually. I could see if we could get someone out to do that. Or if it could even be done virtually, Susan. So let me
Oh,
touch
that
base
would be
with
great.
Brian, and see if we could get someone to do the FOIA training.
Yeah, and it doesn't need to be like a super long thing.
It typically isn't. So let me touch base with Brian and see if we could either do it virtually or if we could do it in person, even at the July trainings. So let's see what we could do.
That would be really wonderful to do that. I'm doing my, now here's my next page.
Are you
Okay.
asking
Oh, you
for
know what
things for
I
the
s-
retreat, Susan, for like
Beg
the
your pardon?
agenda? Are you asking for things for the
Yeah.
agenda? Because I always think it's good for us to review special education data for the state after the end of the school year.
Yeah.
So like if we can get an update on all the dispute resolution numbers so far, restraint and seclusion, and whatever else is related to our priority areas.
Right.
That's a good point, Jen.
So we're not basing everything on our feelings.
Yeah, that's a really good idea. Okay, what else we'll do priorities and recommendations work like we always do.
And that should really take up bulk of the time, the priorities and recommendations work. I mean, that's really
Exactly.
what takes up most of the time.
Yeah, I always feel like we could have more time for the priorities and recommendations. So I agree with Nachi that that will probably take up the bulk of the meeting.
And if the ad hoc bylaw procedures, of each committee is done by then we can just present that real quick. Or we don't have to present it. I mean, because I feel like everything we tag on an email, not necessarily everybody opens it. That I'm not sure if we'll be done by then. Here, just jumping back for a second. This was in the full agenda. So the Toe Institute school-based work group in ours is for our full SAC agenda. What are your thoughts? Because I can go to some of those meetings, but I was wondering if it'd be okay to bring up to see if there was a SAC member who would like to be attending those on a volunteer basis. Just so that we know what's going on there, and then that member can kind of come back and say, hey, this is what's going on. I didn't know if you wanted me to open this up to the full SAC, just for someone to go in and listen. Because like I said, I could do some, but they're on Mondays, and usually I'm working on Mondays.
So are we looking at a SAC member representing SAC on this?
Yeah.
As that would be more than just
Yeah, you're right.
listening. That would be representation.
Yeah.
I wonder if that's a question for the new chair or vice chair, perhaps once they're elected, one of
Okay.
them would be interested in attending the meeting.
Okay, that's a great suggestion. And then I
Okay.
can go whenever I can go until
Mhm.
I'm done. But I just feel like they keep inviting us. They really want to, include us. Okay, let's see where else we are. Anyone else have any thoughts on that? No? Okay. All right, so we kind of planned the retreat. Whoa. And we've got the agenda for the full SAC meeting kind of planned. And then the housekeeping items. I just wanted to tell you where we have the word secretary. Said we would discuss it in our bylaws. It says that we have a secretary. And I will read what it says in the bylaws. It's under committees. It says the executive committee shall consist of the chair, vice chair, secretary, immediate past chair, and 2 additional members appointed by the chair at their discretion. So, the secretary shall perform duties as may be assigned by the chair and may be assisted by personnel of the CSDE when necessary. They shall maintain a copy of minutes and agendas for the cumulative record of the council's work. So what are your thoughts on getting rid of that in the bylaws, possibly keeping them? Because we had somebody that say that the secretary would be a good way for them to learn. Oh, Catherine, are we still frozen?
I can hear you. You
Okay.
guys froze up.
Someone had said I would be willing to do the secretary because then I could learn about the committee as I go along rather than just jump into like a chair position. Anyone's thoughts?
I would, I mean, if there's someone who has the time, this is just my perception that I think that people are pretty stretched with their time and all of their commitments. But if there's someone who was interested in learning more about the executive committee and the SAC, the secretary position could be a great opportunity for them. But my concern is that when we have openings on the SAC, we do have to conduct a rather rigorous recruitment. And so those are my only reservations. But if someone is looking for a leadership opportunity, I think that this could be an excellent segue for them into a more robust role on the SAC.
Because it's more of a listening kind of, I don't know, Jen said that she already does some of it. I mean, I do a lot of it. And I think maybe helping the chair and the vice chair kind of define their, it depends, your chair and vice chair, it's how you work together, even though it says vice chair does this, chair does this, it kind of, they should figure it out themselves, don't you think? Or work together, what their strengths are. Should we just leave it secretary? I just want to make sure that we're not following our bylaws because we don't have a secretary. I know we considered Jolie the secretary a while ago.
Well, I think that's the other piece of it too, is I think that the secretary role is really about how the person works with the administrative staff assigned to the SAC.
Right.
And so it's really making sure that there's a union between that person and the administrative staff and how it can work effectively. So I just want to make sure that, how we can do that well. So it just something to consider.
No.
Right. And we're not just thinking about just us, we're thinking about the future. We're thinking 10, 20 years from now. If we take it out of the bylaws, is that going to be a problem, or are we, ignoring it in the bylaws? Because people are doing the duties, they just don't have the official title.
Yeah. And, I don't think that the position has actually been advertised. So before we consider removing it from the bylaws, maybe giving people an opportunity to explore this position.
Right,
Right.
right. Jen, are you saying that you might be interested in it for now?
I'm saying if somebody needed to do it, I volunteer to do it just because I already signed the emails out for the flyers and everything. But if I don't do it, I would vote that be the secretary's.
So on our meeting, Catherine, is
Yeah.
a membership nominating, should we be bringing that up to nominate a secretary?
Yeah, I think that's a great idea, especially since we have at least one person who is interested. Why
Yeah,
not?
yeah, and so then we'll just have to think about, and then we just have to make sure, we just have to list off what the roles are based on our bylaws. Let's keep it open. Let's see if it works. You know, for me, the more the merrier putting the annual report together. Right? The more minds, the more opportunities that we have, that we'll actually, we can get it done and we'll have a quorum when we're working on it. So that's my thought. Okay, so we'll do that. And then let's just say we'll let the future chair and future executive committee kind of mull on it and see how this works. Like we'll do the greatest, we're gonna do the great secretary experiment, Jen, and it's on your shoulders, maybe.
I want to add to what Catherine said too, Susan. I think it's important. I mean, it's never really been put out to the full SAC. I mean,
Yeah.
there's not a lot of knowledge about it.
Right.
And so I think that having that conversation at the full SAC would be an important conversation to be had.
Okay, so we're gonna put that under, include that, Catherine, in your membership nominating, if that's possible. I think that's gonna be a good hunk, Holly, of the meeting.
Does Brian
Besides-
Smith have to do that part?
Catherine is him today, so I guess,
I would say, I wanted to say, just to be clear, Brian Smith couldn't make it today, to address nominating issues. And, I seem to recall too, Susan, did Brian also indicate he can't make it to the meeting next week?
I don't
Or am I
remember.
imagining things? Okay, so
I knew today.
I will connect with Brian Smith
Okay.
about the secretary position as well. And if for some reason Brian can't make it to
Right.
the full SAC meeting, I'm happy to represent him if that's what he would like.
Okay, he probably will. He's so.
Yeah.
he's-
Yeah, I'm sure he'll be there.
Anyone, Nachi? Anyone?
No,
No?
I-
Okay, so we took care of the secretary part of housekeeping. So I noticed in my to-do list from last time, we needed a one-pager from Unified Sports Healthy Athlete. I'm gonna follow up with Tom, but he's not in town back right now because we haven't gotten that from them. And information on Unified Sports for schools. So here's the other one. So Holly, Jolie asked that I ask and remind, and I think I sent it to you, but, and Catherine, this is for you. New parent, new student members have to fill out a form with Jolie to be a vendor in order to be paid for travel. So that would kind of maybe be in a, maybe under membership. I don't know if you, after they come in, just like a new member orientation item. And so I don't know where that form is. Sean, do you know anything about it?
Jolie has it. And
Okay.
so I would have to get it from Jolie. It's a state form. So let me get that from Jolie, and Holly, I could forward that to you. So you have access to it.
Okay, and so then, so Holly, then our new student will need that as well as,
Stacy?
Stacy will need it, but our students,
Sure.
a school representative who will be providing some support may also need that paperwork.
Yeah, that makes sense. And the students' parents probably.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then do we have anybody that we've already had come on the SAC that is a parent that isn't getting transportation costs from their agency? I don't
think
know.
so. Does Brandolyn need the paperwork too?
Oh, I
Yeah,
forgot
she's
that.
only been to one meeting so far and it was virtual.
Yeah, so.
But we have the
Brandon,
next meeting
you need it?
upcoming. It would be great because we could give it to them at that meeting to fill out and then you can get them. Because if I remember, it was difficult to fill it out, get it and then send it.
Yeah,
I'll send Julie a message today to get it.
Great, and then we'll need the
Okay.
mileage forms at that meeting as well. Okay, great. So we already discussed to invite the new chairs to the May 7th meeting to help decide what meeting dates would be for next year for our full SAC meetings and our LOB event. And we should at least then talk about our first couple of executive committee meetings, like the first couple of the year, like get those
Mhm.
planned. Sean, okay, I'll send this as an email to you. Okay. Oh, online. Holly, we're still missing 20 minutes and for the full SAC and the February 19th executive committee.
I know, we're still working on it.
Okay, wonderful. That's great. Thank you so much. I want to remind everybody that I don't believe we're having the May meeting. Does anyone see a need for it? If we get everything set up at this next one, it's great. Okay. Great. I'm trying to think of anything else. All right. Anyone else have any housekeeping things? Oh, Zoom format. I noticed also the videos don't have captions online.
I'll talk to
And-
Matt.
yeah,
but
and I
that's
think you could
why
do that.
I started the captioning.
Yeah,
So they're
great. 'Cause
there,
I-
they just might not be uploaded.
Yeah, I don't know if that happens later or before with the new Zoom format. Great. So that's it. Anyone else can think of any housekeeping things? No? Wonderful. Wunderbar. Membership updates. Ms.
Okay.
Catherine.
All right, so membership. We do have a couple new vacancies. Our paraeducator emailed me and sadly has resigned from the SAC. She has not been able to attend the meetings this year. She really regrets that, and she certainly does not want to occupy a seat if there is someone else who might be interested. So at the meeting next week, I will make an announcement that we are recruiting for a paraeducator. And then in addition, I just learned that our female student member is graduating this year. Yes, she's graduating. So we have now 3 student vacancies on the SAC. So we want to recruit for more student members. And Susan, last year, I know you worked very diligently to get proclamations for our students. So do you have time for that? Do you want me to see if I can find out when her school will have its awards ceremony?
So I should be able to do that. I just need her name. I saved the wording for the proclamation and then where she lives so that we can go to her representative or senator.
Okay.
And I can do that. Don't worry about it and follow up on it.
Okay. Do you want me to contact her high school about the date of the awards ceremony?
Yeah, if you can. Yeah.
All right, I'm just making a note. Date of.
Yeah. And it depends where the school is.
Yeah.
Because if we
Okay.
can't get the proclamation there, we can always ask whoever the senator
Got it.
representatives, their aide is to drop it
Mhm.
off at the school.
Okay. All right. So
Thank
I'll
you
work-
so much for checking on the awards ceremony. I'm so glad you remember that.
Do you know, I made a note on my calendar last year at this time to check with the students to see if they are graduating. So that is the only reason why I remembered.
So when you kind of write down, would you throw this in that we do proclamations or we try
Yeah.
to into like when you fill out like the thing for the bylaw committee?
Yeah,
Kind of just
absolutely.
as a guide saying, at this time of year
Yeah,
and how we do it.
absolutely.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. That's so great because our students are so wonderful. Anything else I know you have more membership. Anyone else we have? No?
No, we have a full house. We still have, I think 3 legislative openings. We now have 3 student openings. We have the paraeducator opening. Otherwise, no one else has indicated that they are going to step down from the SAC. So we've got a full house.
That's really wonderful. Okay, so would you put your hat on for nominating? Any updates?
Yes. Oh, yeah. Okay, so yes, I am now representing Brian Smith for the nominating committee. And we do have a candidate for chair, we have a candidate for vice chair, and now we have a candidate for secretary. So we have a full slate of officers, which is exciting, but you never know. We could have some wild cards the day of, and someone may decide to nominate themselves, and that's fine. But yeah, we're set to go for next week with nominations.
Yay. And I am so thankful for people that are stepping forward.
Me too.
And okay, great. So legislative update. So Jeff is not here. He's in the Long Island Sound, I believe, right now. So he had sent an email. We've been following on the legislative committee House Bill 5001, and it hadn't had any text. And it's still, Jeff says he's a little confused because all the bill right now is calling for a study to be conducted about special education in the state. And then he was wondering if that's all the end result of the bill will be. And he's reached out, Representative Comey's on this, and we haven't heard yet back from her. Sean, do you know anything, or Jen or Catherine?
Rep Comey replied during the
she did?
meeting. Yes, and she says that she expects the language to be out today.
Okay, so unfortunately, Jeff is going to be gone for the rest of the week. It's a holiday. Tom is going to be gone for the rest of the week. Okay. And Jeff attached language to the legislative committee email. So, and then she didn't say that they didn't announce when the hearing is, did they? Did she say that?
I did not see it yet, but I heard it was supposed to be on the 21st.
That's Monday, yeah.
I will keep an eye out, and if I see the language drop and the meeting posted, I'll forward it to you guys.
Right. So what we did at the last legislative committee is we all kind of discussed taking a portion of what our priorities and recommendations are, and that's what either we will speak for testimony or provide written testimony, right, Jennifer? So Jennifer is going to talk about restraint and seclusion, the SAC, so that one person isn't going to give them all our thoughts in 1 3-minute bump. And then Jeff was also putting together a letter.
I'm still trying to find out if I am allowed to provide the testimony. I'm going to write it though, and I'll send it to the group for approval.
Okay. All right. I can always submit it for you, right? If you're not able to. Anyone have any questions about legislative? This is very. Does CSDE, Sean, know anything about the study? Have they said anything?
I can't speak to it. I'm not sure, Susan.
It's super general. Yep. Okay. Because I'm sure they want to study specific things because we just had the special ed task force. Okay. Guys, I think we are okay. Next is the ad hoc bylaw policy update. So Sean, I hope you can make it. The only day that everybody could make it was May 16th at noon. And I am hoping that the committees can have just like kind of what they do, their policies by then. Catherine, does that make any sense? Like kind of as you go along, you're like, oh, and this is where you get the membership survey. And does that make any sense? Things,
yeah.
Just like a lookbook for the future people.
Yep.
Kind of what it is. And then and we'll work on that. I shared a document because I forgot. Executive committee is a committee that we have to have information. Oh, Jen had a question in chat. Jen, you want me to? Wait, what does it say? I just popped up and it disappeared.
What the study you were talking about, I felt like it was related to like pricing outplacements or something like that, because there's been a lot of talk about the cost of it and people raising the prices in the middle of the school year after budgets have been out. So I know part of the conversation was related to that, but I'm not positive.
Right. It'd be interesting to know if the special education legislation is gonna go, what is it, SB 1, Senate Bill 1, instead of the House bill. I have no idea, but Representative Comey will keep us up to date with that. So again, the ad hoc is waiting on the committees, legislative membership, the CERC, CSDE, administrative duties, kind of thoughts on that. Sean put the corrected bylaws online. Thank you, Sean. That was super nice of you. And those are things, that's almost like, those are things that as a whole, we kind of have to, because I always go back and look at the website occasionally, but I didn't even think that the bylaws weren't the updated. You know, so if we had a secretary who occasionally checked, a chair occasionally checked, then everything would be up to date. Okay, all right.
Susan, sorry, I just
No.
remembered something. We have not met as an ad hoc for the dispute resolution
Yes.
team, and one of our functions each year, we're supposed to review the fully adjudicated cases. I think there's only a couple to date. So I don't know if we want to put that on our next agenda that we look at it, or if that's something we might do in July. But we either need to meet as a ad hoc or look at those at
Yeah,
least briefly.
and also when we're doing our bylaw, we're doing the policy bylaw things, like we should list what the ad hoc committee is. And it's that ad hoc, the dispute resolution, its purpose, and that it's one of those ad hocs that doesn't dissolve. Because in our bylaws, it says if you're done, you dissolve the ad hoc. So Sean, when do you think that CSDE would be have more time for our meeting Wednesday to do this, or to do it in July?
I think, I mean, if I would make a suggestion, I mean, my thought is I would wait until July, just because you'd be able to cover or kill two birds with one stone. I think you get all the fully adjudicated hearings for this past year also, and I think you're going to get probably more robust information for this past year. We're getting more fully adjudicated hearings for this past year also.
Okay.
So you're going to get a lot of information, I think. And Kirsten has all of that information, and she'd be happy to share it.
Okay, wonderful. And Sean, who would do that at our, who would be like facilitating that?
It would be Kirsten Dovenberg.
Okay,
She oversees hearings and mediations. So and
great.
I could talk to Kirsten about that too.
Great. And then once we have the date set, see if she's actually available, whether it's virtually or not. So, because I think we don't need, if we kind of have these things set for July, I don't think we need like a formal, if we have an agenda, we can just run it like a regular meeting with invited. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Right. I think we get so much done as a group. We're so effective. Okay.
And your new secretary knows Kirsten too well. So.
My new soon to be. Yes. You get the Secretary Day card and everything. I'll send you one. Wait, but nothing's been nominated, so we don't. Okay. All right. So anyone have anything else? I have my action items. I'm going to get on that right now. So our next executive committee meeting is May 7th at 9:30 a.m. And I'm hoping that we are able to have either our new chair or vice chair there to help us set our dates. Okay, and then we are ready to adjourn. Look at that, 9:40 a.m. Ready, guys? Would someone please make a motion to adjourn this meeting?
I'll make a motion.
Thank you, Catherine. All favor of adjournment? Okay, great. We are adjourning at 9:40 a.m. Thank you, everybody. You're all so wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you all. It's
Thank
nice meeting
you.
all.
Thanks, guys.